Chapter 32. Fifth Objection. Glorious French Revolution. As for the immortal principles of 1789, the distinctions which liberal Catholics reasonably try to make are utterly rejected by true liberals, for whom the French Revolution is like a religious creed. Yet, as a creed, it is impossible to define, and when one tries, one finds that anything good in it predated the Revolution, i.e., was Catholic. They gladly swear by the principles of 89. They even call them the immortal principles. That is the shibboleth that gives entry to the camp of greater liberalism. But it has to be pronounced in a certain way, and our Catholics have not quite got it, for they are coldly received in spite of their efforts. Even those who have got farthest into the liberal camp are still in quarantine. I congratulate them for it. To have the accent just right, it is first necessary to understand and accept the thing completely. But if they choose to understand the thing completely, I dare say they would not accept it. What are these principles or conquests or ideas of 89? These three words already represent three gradations, or rather three different doctrines, and there are many others. Such and such a liberal Catholic carefully distinguishes between principles and conquests. Another accepts both conquests and principles. A third rejects both conquests and principles and accepts only ideas. Pure liberals, that is to say, liberals with no tinge of Christianity, detest these distinctions, which they bitterly qualify as Jesuitical. The ideas, principles, and conquests of 1789 are, for pure liberals, articles of faith and dogmas, and together they constitute the creed of 1789. But no one recites this creed as such, and if anyone ever wrote it, all out for his personal satisfaction, I defy him to recopy it without modifying it, and above all to find a kindred spirit of 89, who would not propose his own amendments. There is nothing more laborious or more fruitless than a journey in quest of the principles of 89. One comes up with a considerable number of hollow words, banalities, and empty phrases. Mr. Cousin, having undertaken to reveal those mysteries that bear the dread and blessed name of the principles of the French Revolution, reduces them to three: national sovereignty, the emancipation of the individual or justice, the progressive diminution of ignorance, misery and vice, or civil charity. Tocqueville, translator's note, Alexis de Tocqueville, who lived from 1805 to 59, Catholic statesman and noble involved in the struggle for Catholic freedom under Louis Philippe. End translator's note. Does not contradict Mr. Cousin. He simply demonstrates without difficulty that 89 did not invent those values, nor anything good and acceptable that may go under the name of 89. All such things existed under the former French Constitution, more than just the seeds of them, and their development would have been more general and more solid if the Revolution had not laid its hand upon them, or rather its knife. As for national sovereignty before 89, France heartily believed herself to be an independent nation, and as for justice, there were already certain glimmers of equality before the law, thanks to the well-established practice of equality before God. As for civil charity, true charity manifested itself by a significant number of charitable institutions and congregations. Public education was more broad-minded, more solid, and more widespread than it is today. It is also certain that the Catholic religion has never been considered the enemy of the courts, hospitals, or colleges. When we were battling the state's monopoly over universities, it was in order to open schools and found universities. When we were battling for the freedom to find charitable works, we made no victims among the unfortunate. We never asked that a right be infringed upon, nor that a crime escape prosecution because of the rank of the criminal. If, then, the principles of 89 are those named by Mr. Cousin, and what does the Catholic faith contradict them? Catholics, liberal and non-liberal alike, have not only respected, but practiced and defended them.